Malik Rowan, a 39-year-old black single father with a record he didn't deserve and a son waiting at home, is about to make a decision that will either save his future or destroy it completely. On a rain-soaked highway in New Jersey, two stranded teenage girls need help. Every instinct tells him to keep driving. Black men don't stop on dark roads for strangers. Black fathers don't gamble with police encounters. But Malik's son once asked him a question he couldn't answer: "Dad, why don't people help us?" Tonight, Malik will discover that the girls he helps are the daughters of the same judge who sentenced him to 6 months and took everything. What happens when kindness collides with the man who holds your fate? Stay tuned to find out. And before we get into this incredible story, let us know in the comments where you are watching from today. If this story moves you, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Rain hammered the windshield like a judgment. Malik's wipers fought a losing battle against the downpour. His knuckles were white on the steering wheel. His old sedan groaned against the wind, rust spots spreading like regret across the hood. He was late. Again. Always late. His son Zion was waiting at Mrs. Patterson's apartment. 7 years old. Probably sitting by the window. Probably counting headlights. Probably wondering why his father always took so long. Malik pressed harder on the gas. Rent was due 3 days ago. His boss had looked at him sideways this morning. The kind of look that comes before pink slips and empty promises. Everything was slipping through his fingers. Everything he had rebuilt after 6 months in a cell. 6 months. The memory hit him like it always did. Without warning. A courtroom 2 years ago. Borrowed slacks that didn't quite fit. A judge who looked down at him like a file to close. Non-compliance, the judge had said. One missed parole meeting. The bus had broken down that day. No drugs. No violence. Just paperwork and a man with a gavel who didn't care about context. 6 months. That sound. Wood striking wood. A life ending with a single blow. 6 months cost Malik his job. His apartment. His mother's health when she tried to cover his bills. His son's laughter, replaced by quiet fear. Malik never forgot that gavel sound. Tonight, he just wanted to get home. Then his headlights caught something on the shoulder. 2 figures. Same height. Same face. Girls. Young. Soaking wet. Red sleeveless tops clinging to shivering frames. Jeans dark with rain. A stalled sedan behind them, hood up, hazard lights blinking like a heartbeat nobody could hear. Malik's foot hovered over the brake. Every rule screamed in his head. Don't stop. Black men don't stop on dark roads. Black fathers don't gamble with strangers. Black men with records don't invite misunderstandings. His foot pressed the gas harder. He drove past them. Watching them shrink in his rearview mirror. 2 girls. Alone. In the rain. Then Zion's voice echoed in his mind. Last winter. I-95. Flat tire. Freezing cold. Dad, why don't people help us? Malik exhaled sharply. And hit the brake. He was 100 yards past them when his foot found the brake. The sedan slowed. His heart didn't. Malik stared into the rearview mirror. 2 silhouettes standing in the rain. Hazard lights blinking behind them. No other cars in sight. The rules played in his head again. Rules his father taught him before leaving. Rules the world enforced every day. Don't stop on dark roads. Don't be alone with white girls. Don't give anyone a reason to see you as a threat. His hands trembled on the wheel. But he wasn't thinking about himself anymore. He was thinking about Zion. About the question his son had asked while they waited 45 minutes for help that never came. 12 cars passed that night. Malik counted every one. Zion did too. Why don't people help us, Dad? Malik had no answer then. Just cold silence and colder truth. Tonight, 2 girls stood in that same cold. Waiting for help that might not come. And Malik knew exactly how that felt. He exhaled. The sound of a man surrendering to his conscience. The car stopped. Then reversed. Slowly. Back toward the shoulder. Back toward the girls. Back toward risk. He shifted into park. Headlights illuminating 2 soaked figures clinging to each other. Same face. Same height. Same fear. Twins. Definitely twins. They wore red sleeveless tops, arms wrapped around themselves. Jeans dark with water. Long brown hair plastered to their faces. Malik opened his door. Rain hit him immediately. Cold. Heavy. Relentless. He stepped out slowly. Kept his hands visible. Palms open. Non-threatening. The body language of a black man who knows how fast things can go wrong. The girls watched him approach. One stepped slightly in front of the other. Protective. Car won't start? Malik asked. One girl nodded. The other shook so hard her teeth clicked. Our phone died, the first one said. We've been here almost an hour. 1 hour. In this rain. On this empty road. Malik glanced back down the highway. No houses. No lights. No help for miles. What are your names? I'm Bryn, the first girl said. This is Kaya. Twins. Protecting each other the only way they knew how. Malik was about to respond when headlights appeared behind his car. Another vehicle. Slowing down. And the energy in the air shifted from desperate to dangerous. The pickup truck crawled to a stop behind Malik's sedan. Engine idling. Headlights washing over all three of them. The driver's window rolled down. White man. Mid-40s. Baseball cap pulled low. Eyes that lingered too long on the girls. Y'all need some help? He called out. His voice carried a smirk. Kaya flinched. Bryn stepped closer to Malik. Instinct. Seeking protection from the stranger who had stopped to help them. Malik positioned himself between the girls and the truck. We're good, he said. Voice hard. Steady. No fear. Just warning. The man's eyes flicked between them. Calculating. The kind of look that made skin crawl. You sure about that? He asked. Couple young girls out here alone. I said we're good. Malik didn't move. Didn't blink. Just stood there. Rain running down his face. Blocking the path. The truck idled. Seconds stretched. The man smiled. Wrong kind of smile. The kind that doesn't reach the eyes. Then he rolled up his window. Tires spun on wet asphalt. And the pickup disappeared into the darkness. But the fear it left behind didn't leave with it. Malik turned to the girls. Both of them pale. Shaking harder now. He's gone, Malik said quietly. Let's check your car. He walked to the stalled sedan. Popped the hood. Steam hissed from the engine. Water everywhere. One look told him what he already knew. Alternator was finished. No roadside fix tonight. You got family nearby? He asked. Kaya swallowed hard. Our dad's out of town. Mom? Silence. Heavy. Familiar. The kind of silence that surrounds loss. Malik didn't push. He knew that quiet. He carried it himself since his own mother passed. Rain drummed against metal. The girls stood there. Soaked. Scared. Nowhere to go. Malik made a decision. You can sit in my car, he said. Warm up. I'll call a tow. They hesitated. Looking at each other. Some silent twin communication passing between them. Then Bryn nodded. Okay. They followed him to his sedan. Climbed into the back seat. Water dripping onto worn upholstery. Malik turned up the heat. Started making calls. Tow company put him on hold. And inside that cramped car, with rain drumming the roof like a countdown, three strangers began to talk. Thank you for stopping. Bryn's voice was steadier now. The heat was working. Color returning to their faces. No one else did, Kaya added quietly. Malik nodded, phone pressed to his ear. Still on hold with the tow company. Elevator music playing like a bad joke. I know how that feels, he said. The words came out before he could stop them. A shared wound. The girls exchanged a look. Your car really saved us, Kaya said. Malik almost laughed. This rusted sedan wasn't saving anyone. But he kept that to himself. 20 minutes passed. 30. The tow company promised 45 more. They talked to fill the silence. The twins were high school seniors. Honor students. Debate team. Their father was strict. Always busy. Always important. He works all the time, Bryn said. Something in her voice. Resentment wrapped in resignation. What does he do? Malik asked. Casual. Just making conversation. Bryn looked at her sister. Something passed between them. Law, she said. He's a judge. The word hit Malik like a fist to the chest. Judge. He kept his face neutral. Years of courtrooms had taught him that. How to hide what you feel when showing it could destroy you. What kind? He asked. Superior Court, Kaya answered. Criminal Division. Criminal Division. Malik's stomach dropped through the floor. There were dozens of judges in New Jersey. Criminal Division narrowed it. But still. It could be anyone. That sounds intense, he managed. Bryn shrugged. We're used to it. He missed our birthday last year. Sent flowers instead. The sentence sat heavy in the car. Malik understood. The difference between provision and presence. He had struggled with both. But he never missed Zion's birthday. Not even from jail. He had called from the prison phone. Sang happy birthday through static. Zion still played that recording sometimes. Do you have kids? Kaya asked. A son. Zion. He's 7. Is he like you? The question caught Malik off guard. He's better than me, he said finally. Kinder. Braver. His phone buzzed. Not the tow company. A voicemail. From his lawyer. Malik's throat tightened. He had been avoiding this all day. He pressed play. Malik, your appeal hearing was moved up. Tomorrow morning. Same judge as before. Same judge. The words sliced through him. Tomorrow. Same courtroom. Same man who had taken everything. Malik looked at the twins in his rearview mirror. Their father was a judge. Criminal division. Superior court. What were the odds? What were the odds that the man who destroyed his life had daughters on this road tonight? Malik prayed he was wrong. But fear doesn't care about probability. And something in his gut already knew. The tow truck's headlights cut through the rain 45 minutes later. A large flatbed with a driver who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. The driver stepped out. Flashlight sweeping across the scene. Malik's sedan. The twins in the back seat. The broken-down car on the shoulder. The driver's eyes narrowed immediately. You there, Dad? He asked Malik. No. The word hung in the wet air. Then what exactly are you doing out here with them? The question was sharp. Accusatory. The tone Malik had heard 100 times before. The assumption wrapped in syllables. Their car broke down, Malik said calmly. I stopped to help. Uh-huh. The driver looked at the girls. Then back at Malik. Calculating the picture. Black man. 2 white teenage girls. Isolated road. Before Malik could speak again, Bryn stepped out of the car. He helped us. Her voice was firm. Clear. Cutting through the rain. We asked him to stay with us. He's the only one who stopped. She stood between Malik and the driver's judgment. 18 years old. Defending a stranger. The driver's expression shifted. Not convinced. But quieted. All right, he muttered. Let me hook up the car. He moved toward the stalled sedan. Started the process. Kaya touched Malik's arm lightly. Thank you, she said. For not leaving. 4 words. Carrying more weight than they should. Bryn made a phone call. Her voice tight. Dad, our car broke down. We're on Route 31. A man stopped to help us. She paused. Listening. Yes, Dad. We're fine. He's been really kind. Another pause. Okay. We'll wait. She hung up. He's sending someone. Should be here soon. Malik nodded. The clock was ticking now. In more ways than one. 20 minutes later, headlights appeared at the end of the road. A sleek black SUV. Moving fast. Purposeful. It pulled up beside them. Engine still running. The back door opened. And Malik's entire world collapsed into recognition. Silver hair. Measured stare. The same face that had looked down at him from the bench 2 years ago and said, 6 months, like it cost nothing. Judge Conrad Hale stepped out of the SUV. His eyes swept the scene. The broken car. The tow truck. His daughters. And then they landed on Malik. Recognition flashed. Immediate. Cold. You, the judge said quietly. 1 word. Carrying the weight of courtrooms and gavels and a life destroyed. Malik stood frozen in the rain. History crashing into the present. The judge who had taken everything was standing right in front of him. And his daughters were the reason Malik had stopped. You know our dad? Kaya asked. Confusion in her voice. Looking between Malik and her father. Trying to understand why the air had turned to ice. Judge Hale's jaw tightened. His eyes never left Malik. He's someone from my courtroom. The words were careful. Clinical. Reducing 2 years of suffering to a footnote. Bryn stepped forward. Rain running down her face. What does that mean? It means I've seen him before. In a professional capacity. Professional. The word sanitized everything. Made 6 months sound like paperwork. Made destruction sound administrative. Kaya looked at Malik. Really looked at him. Something shifting in her expression. Dad, he helped us. He stopped when 12 other cars drove past. He stayed with us for 2 hours, Bryn added. He scared off some creep who was following us. The judge's expression didn't change. But something flickered behind his eyes. Malik found his voice. Rough from rain and revelation. I didn't know who they were. He met the judge's eyes. For the first time as something like equals. Both standing in the rain. Both fathers. Both human. I just didn't want them alone out here. Simple words. Honest words. The only words he had. Judge Hale studied him. The same way he studied defendants from the bench. Looking for lies. Looking for angles. Looking for anything that didn't fit. He found nothing. Because there was nothing to find. Just a man who had stopped to help 2 girls in the rain. Girls, the judge said finally. Get in the car. Bryn didn't move. Dad. Now. His voice left no room. The voice of a man used to being obeyed. Kaya hesitated. Her eyes met Malik's. Something passing between them. Gratitude maybe. Or apology for what her father was. For what the system had done. Thank you, Bryn whispered. 2 words. Carrying everything. Then they climbed into the SUV. The doors closed. The tinted windows hid their faces. Judge Hale turned back to Malik. For a long moment, neither man spoke. Rain fell between them like a curtain. "Tomorrow morning," the judge said quietly. "Don't be late." Then he got in the SUV and drove away, leaving Malik standing alone on the shoulder. Rain soaking through his clothes. His past and his future colliding in a single impossible night. The drive home was the longest of Malik's life. Rain streaking his windshield like the tears he wouldn't let himself cry. His hands gripping the wheel like it was the only thing keeping him anchored. He kept replaying every moment. The judge's cold recognition. "You." Just one word. But it carried everything. 2 years of rebuilding. 2 years of trying to prove he was more than a case number. All of it dissolving in a single glance. Should he have kept driving? The question tortured him. If he had just passed by like the 12 cars before him, the judge wouldn't have seen him. Wouldn't have that look in his eyes. Wouldn't have connected Malik to his daughters. But those girls would have been alone. With men like the pickup driver circling. Waiting. Malik couldn't have lived with that. Even if helping them destroyed him, some choices aren't choices at all. They're just who you are. He pulled into the apartment complex at 11:47 p.m. Mrs. Patterson's lights still on. God bless that woman. Zion was asleep on her couch. Shoes still on. Like he'd been waiting by the door. Malik lifted him gently. Carried him across the hall. The weight of his son in his arms, the most real thing in the world. He laid Zion in bed. Pulled the covers up. Stood watching him breathe. This boy who asked why people don't help. This boy who deserved a father who did. Malik had been that father tonight. Whatever it cost him tomorrow. He sat in darkness for hours. Listening to rain tapping the window. Thinking about courtrooms and gavels and second chances that might not come. His phone buzzed once. A text from his lawyer. 9 a.m. sharp. Courtroom 4B. Be ready for anything. Malik wasn't ready. He wasn't sure anyone could be ready. But when dawn came gray and heavy, he put on his only dress shirt. The one he'd worn to his mother's funeral. The one he'd worn to every job interview that went nowhere. He kissed Zion's forehead. "I'll pick you up from school today, little man." A promise he prayed he could keep. Then he drove to the courthouse. Where his fate would be decided by a man whose daughters he had protected 12 hours before. The courtroom felt smaller than Malik remembered. Same wood paneling. Same fluorescent hum. Same uncomfortable benches that made you feel like a criminal before anyone said a word. Malik sat in the gallery. Hands folded. Heart pounding so loud he could hear it in his ears. His lawyer sat beside him. A young public defender who believed in second chances. She had fought for this appeal. Pushed when others would have given up. "It's going to be okay," she whispered. Malik didn't believe her. Other cases went first. Traffic violations. Small disputes. Minor matters that judges handled like paperwork. Each gavel fall made Malik flinch. That sound. Wood on wood. The same sound that had ended his world 2 years ago. Then his name was called. Malik Rowan. Appeal hearing. He stood. Legs somehow working. Walked to the front. And looked up at Judge Conrad Hale. The judge looked back. Same silver hair. Same measured stare. But something was different. Something in the eyes. The courtroom waited. "Mr. Rowan," the judge began. His voice formal. "Public record being made. Before we proceed, I need to acknowledge something for the record." The courtroom quieted. Even the clerk stopped typing. "Last night, my daughters were stranded on a roadside in hazardous conditions." Murmurs rippled through the room. This man before the court stopped to help them. He stayed with them for over 2 hours. He ensured their safety when multiple other vehicles passed without stopping. Malik barely breathed. "I have reviewed your case file again this morning," Judge Hale continued. "And I must acknowledge that my previous ruling failed to consider the totality of your circumstances." Failed? A judge admitting failure. Malik had never heard those words in a courtroom before. "Your original violation was a missed parole meeting. The documentation shows the public transit failure that caused your absence. This was present in your file but was not weighed appropriately at sentencing." The judge paused. "The court recognizes this oversight." He looked directly at Malik. "Not as a case number. As a man. The appeal is granted. Your sentence is reduced to time served. You are free to rebuild your life, Mr. Rowan." Relief crashed through Malik so hard his knees nearly buckled. Free. After 2 years of carrying the weight of 6 months that cost everything. Finally lifted. Finally over. But Judge Hale wasn't finished. He leaned forward slightly. Voice lower now. Almost private despite the public setting. "Mr. Rowan, this ruling does not erase the system's failures. It only exposes them." Malik understood. This wasn't forgiveness. This was acknowledgement. That something had been broken. That justice had failed. That one act of kindness had illuminated what the system preferred to keep dark. The gavel fell. But this time, the sound didn't mean punishment. It meant freedom. Malik walked out of the courtroom on legs that didn't feel like his own. The hallway stretched forever. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Other people moving past him like ghosts. He pushed through the courthouse doors. And sunlight hit his face. Actual sunlight. The rain had stopped. The clouds were breaking apart. Blue sky showing through for the first time in days. Malik sat down on the courthouse steps. Just sat there. Hands shaking. Breath coming in ragged gasps that might have been sobs if he let them. 2 years. 2 years of carrying that conviction like a stone around his neck. 2 years of checking boxes on job applications that asked about criminal history. 2 years of watching his son grow up wondering if daddy would be taken away again. Over. It was finally over. He thought about Zion. About picking him up from school today. About getting ice cream. About laughing like they used to. About planning for a future that was finally his again. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He almost ignored it. But something made him look. A text message. Bryn, Dad told us everything. He said what you did last night changed how he saw things. He said he went back and really looked at your case. Another message appeared. Kaya, thank you for seeing us as people before knowing who we were. Most people wouldn't have stopped. Malik stared at the words. 2 teenage girls who understood something profound. Something their father was still learning. That character isn't what you do when power is watching. It's who you are when no one knows your name. He typed back slowly. Malik, thank you for telling him the truth about that night. Take care of each other. He hit send. Looked up at the sky. The clouds were still breaking. More blue showing through. Like a promise. He had helped 2 strangers because his son asked a question he couldn't answer. Now he had an answer. Why don't people help us? Because they're afraid. Because the world teaches them not to. Because risk feels bigger than reward. But sometimes the kindness you give tonight rewrites the judgment you face tomorrow. Sometimes being good when no one's watching is the only thing that saves you. Sometimes the help you offer becomes the help you receive. Malik picked Zion up from school at 3:15 p.m. The boy ran across the playground when he saw the car. Backpack bouncing. Smile wide. The kind of smile Malik hadn't seen in months. Dad. You're here. I told you I would be, little man. Zion climbed into the passenger seat. Buckled his seatbelt. Looked at his father with 7-year-old eyes that saw everything. You look different, Zion said. Yeah? Lighter. Like something heavy came off. Malik smiled. His son was too smart. Too observant. Too good for this broken world. Something did come off, something that's been on me for a long time. Is it gone for good? I think so. Yeah. I think it's gone for good. They drove to the ice cream shop on Maple Street. The one they used to go to before everything fell apart. Malik got chocolate. Zion got strawberry with extra sprinkles. They sat on a bench outside. Watching cars pass. Watching people walk by. Watching the world move like it always did. Dad? Zion said between bites. Yeah? Remember when you asked me that question? About why people don't help? Malik nodded. He remembered everything about that night. I think I know the answer now, Zion said. What's that? People are scared. But you weren't scared last night. Mrs. Patterson said you helped some girls in the rain. Malik had called Mrs. Patterson that morning. Told her a short version. Apparently she had told Zion. I was scared, Malik admitted. Really scared. Then why did you stop? Malik looked at his son. This small person who carried so much wisdom. Because you asked me why people don't help. And I didn't want to be someone who doesn't help. I wanted to be someone you could be proud of. Zion put down his ice cream. Wrapped his small arms around Malik's waist. I'm always proud of you, Dad. 5 words. Worth more than any verdict. Worth more than any freedom. Worth everything. They sat there until the ice cream was gone and the sun started setting orange and pink across the sky. A father and son. Survivors. Looking at tomorrow like it belonged to them. Because finally, it did. If this story moved you, if it made you think about kindness and courage and the choices we make when no one's watching, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another story. We share stories like this every week. Stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Stories of second chances. Stories of faith in humanity when the world gives you every reason to lose it. Drop a comment below and tell us your story. Have you ever helped a stranger without knowing how it would change your life? Have you ever been helped when you least expected it? Your words might inspire someone who is standing at their own crossroads right now. Because the world changes one choice at a time. One act of courage at a time. One decision to stop when everyone else keeps driving. What will you do when it's your turn? Until next time, remember this truth: character is who you are when power isn't watching. Make it count.